What's up, my Finland loves? It's Miss Finland D coming to you all from Vienna Entertainment News. Yes, I did see the video of our adorable Brooklyn, and I will be updating that next, okay? But I've already previously recorded these little videos here and there on clips that I've seen. So I just want to get these videos out of the way. I'm getting caught up, and I will definitely be posting an update on our adorable Brooklyn after this one, okay? So now, put me on pause, click the very first link in the description below. Go ahead and watch that short clip and come back. Let's talk about it. Well, welcome back, okay? I'm not going to be breaking down what happened in the clip. So go ahead and watch it because I'm just going to jump into my reaction, all right? Okay, I'll say it again. Welcome back. Okay, so if you notice, at the beginning of the season, Kenya went and visited Cynthia Bailey wine cellar. You know, I don't know why the production team is keeping certain things, but I understand Tanya wasn't in the first few episodes, so it made sense to reintroduce her to the group and then have this conversation while she's in the mix. So I get it. But if you notice in that clip, while Cynthia and Kenya are together at her wine cellar, Cynthia then suggested for the two of them to go to that cookie spot, okay? Kenya didn't say, oh, I saw a cookie spot while driving in here. Let's go there. No, Cynthia Bailey, with the cameras, suggested that they go to this spot. So if Cynthia Bailey really want us to believe that this is reality TV and it's not scripted and she's just innocent and Miss Love and Light and had no clue, then we all have to believe that Kenya Moore had no clue as well what she was walking into. Her friend said, let's go to this cookie spot. She said, yes, ma'am, okay? And she went and took a walk with her friend. To get in this spot, she have a daughter with her. This random lady comes up to them, as you saw in the video, and starts saying things about Tanya's fiance. Okay? Now, there's a camera there. Okay? There's a camera filming all of this. Okay? And Cynthia Bailey, who's had an entire season with Tanya, and they might not be BFFs, but she have a relationship with Tanya. She's cool with Tanya. She got to hang around Tanya. So that was Cynthia Bailey's place, right? To pull Tanya inside and say, listen here, girl, Kenya and I went out to this cookie spot, and this chick came out and said this about your man. I'm just letting you know, all right? But no, production set the whole thing up. They both walked into it. Production is so desperate to make Kenya Moore the villain. And some of you might say, if that's the case, why Kenya keeps stepping in and taking the role and all of that? Okay, let me just point this out. They sign contracts, right? They have to do their jobs. When production say do something, you sign a contract. Now, if it's just way out there, absolutely not, quit the show, okay? I'm not, for example, accusing someone of rape. That's where you draw the line. I don't believe production did that, okay? But I'm just using that as an example. Production comes to you and say that, that's where you draw the line. I don't care if I'm going to lose out millions of dollars. I'm quitting. And you know what? Sue me, but I'm going to the press and I'm putting you on blast and all of you on blast for what you wanted me to do. And I said no, and now I don't have a job, okay? But topics like this, these girls do it all the time. I mean, Candy did it all last season with the Portia and Dennis situation, discussing Portia's relationship with her co-workers and all of that, okay? So this is not a shocker that someone walk up to someone and say someone cheated and the girls are having a group conversation. So let me give you a few examples before I get to, addressing Cynthia Bailey and what she said. and why the title is the way it is. When Nene Leakes was walking up to Eva with her mic on, and she didn't get to say, I'm mic'd, like Candy and Cynthia's situation. Nene said, Eva is going to be mad at me because she didn't want me, to come with a mic and the camera and all of that. Nene's supervisor told her, keep that mic on. And do you think Nene is going to risk losing her job because of Eva? Hell to the no. Go ahead and watch Candy speak on it. She talked about it. She said, Eva, you've been doing this show now for a little bit, and you know how TV goes. So you can't be mad at Nene for keeping her mic on. If her supervisor said, keep it on, that's what goes. Even Candy said that. Okay, so Nene kept her mic on. Eva got mad. They're cool now. Well, we shall see. Okay, and that's that. A second example. All of the girls, not all of them, but most of them, Cynthia, Eva, and Candy are at her restaurant. This girl, sincerely, you saw the episode, walked up to them, already mic'd, okay, with the cameras rolling, saying, oh, by the way, I didn't sleep with Dennis. I've never met Dennis, okay? Candy wanted all of us to believe that. I know y'all gonna come for me, but I did not set this up. And guess what? The internet believed Candy. No one dragged Candy. Instead, they dragged the producers. Like, oh my gosh, those Real Housewives of Atlanta producers are shady. Everyone moved on. My last example, Cynthia Bailey and Candy are both in a room with Kenya Moore. Cynthia Bailey and Candy had every opportunity to have a private conversation with Kenya. On camera, of course, but still doing the right thing away from the group. And Cynthia at that point could have poured out her heart to her friend to say, I didn't believe you were being malicious, but because my fiance felt away, I figure out that I say this to you. And she could have had that moment with her so-called friend. But production and the producers told her, absolutely not. You are going to have it, okay, in front of the entire group because we need another scene to add spice to this episode, or else it's going to be a boring episode. But yes, producers, okay, the people who write my check and cut my check, I'm going to, once again, throw my friend on the bus and have a conversation in front of all of these people who don't even know the level of our friendship so that they can get to throw, shade. Like Portia's saying, Kenya ruined her friend happiness. That, we're not going to even talk about that anymore. So you could see Cynthia was uncomfortable, but she had the conversation. You can see the force in her face. She had a conversation in front of everybody because that's what production wants it. Okay? And of course, this moment right here, which worked perfectly for Eva when she was trying to get her peach. She stood in front of everybody, okay? She did not pull Cynthia aside and talked about Will, okay? And that he wasn't being honest with Cynthia and all of that, okay? She came in and she was introduced as Nene Leakes' friend. She had no loyalty to Cynthia at that time, and she was simply doing her job. She got a tiny bit of, oh girl, you're messy, but it wasn't at the magnitude that people are coming for Kenya Moore. Okay, Kenya was the one who stepped in once again and said, okay, Eva or Cynthia, let's go over here and talk about it privately. Let's not just do it out in the open. But did Eva care? No. She was gunning for her peach, and she did what she had to do, and it worked, right? Now, you would think Cynthia Bailey, knowing what and how it feels like to get embarrassed in front of everybody, you would think, since she had an entire season with Tanya, would have then pulled Tanya aside and told her what happened. But no, she wants to continue to look like, Miss Love and Light, which I'm sure Cynthia is Love and Light. Don't get me wrong. But yes, she does have, other sides to her and all of that, which is cool. I'm just not here for people who just being open about it, don't do it and then try to pretend like it's not happening. That's all I'm saying, okay? So you would think someone who went through similar situation would have been like, you know what, I've been there. I know what it feels like. Will is no longer here. Let me go ahead and talk to Tanya. Okay? So for this girl to just think this tape was just going to mysteriously disappear and Bravo wasn't going to talk about it, no. She didn't bring it up because she did not want to look like the bad guy once again. So, hey, Kenya, you want to do it? Kenya's like, what's the big deal? Hey, Tanya, or hey, if your man was cheating, would you want to know at the entire table? Okay, we're going to see who's going to come out and say it. Is it going to come from Kenya, or is Cynthia Bailey going to jump in front of it to save face and say, okay, I was there. I know what happened. Let me say it. And Tanya, you know what? I didn't say anything because I just didn't want to bring that type of energy to your relationship. So we shall see who's going to end up saying it. So every single one of them do it. But hey, it's Kenya, so it's no shocker. I made all of those examples just to say every time Kenya Moore breathed, it's a problem. Because when the girl walked up on Candy and Cynthia and Eva and all of them, it was, oh, production did that, right? You would think that if Candy was the one discussing Portia Williams' relationship and her man allegedly cheating, this was when it was alleged before he confessed, all of last season, then the fact that the girl ended up at Candy's restaurant, right? It would be very easy to place the blame on Candy, but Candy came on TV or her speak on it. I had nothing to do with this, and guess what? Everyone believed Candy and believed production was being messy, and that's what most of the titles read, that production was being messy. No one dragged or blamed Candy, okay? Cynthia Bailey also, I have a job to do. Production wants me to talk about Kenya amongst the group. That's what I'm going to do. Nene walked up with her mic. Candy, defends her on her speak on it. All of these different examples that I made, right? Why is it okay for other people to simply just be doing their job? But when Kenya Moore is simply just doing her job, it's a problem. I don't get it. You understand what I'm saying? She's just doing her job. But now, once again, Team Twirl, Kenya Moore supporters, brace yourself, okay, for another Sunday of the dragging of Kenya Moore. I understand, right? This is a show, and I'm not expecting Candy or Cynthia to change the audience mind about Kenya, anything like that. What I'm saying when I say they throw Kenya under the bus or they don't step up and have her back when they need to is, okay, everybody else is watching the show just like us, right? So they are just watching people on TV. They don't know these girls personally. But someone who personally know these girls and can say, I have a working and personal relationship or a friendship with Kenya Moore, so I know the real and true Kenya Moore. So someone who knows the real and true Kenya Moore of camera, right? If that person then come on camera and say, now look, I know y'all got things to say about Kenya, however, she and I simply walk in this situation. It's not her fault, and it was filming, so eventually it was going to come out anyways. That will, some way, somehow, yes, people will still be haters, but it will some way, somehow soften the blow. But when you come on camera and say, I know Kenya Moore is shady, but even this right here is like low blow or below the belt. When you say that, when did Kenya Moore become the executive producer of Real Housewives of Atlanta? So you're trying to tell me she went and found this lady, put the lady in the cookie shop, came to your wine cellar for the first time, told you, hey, I have this lady hiding in the cookie shop, pretend like, you are taking me there. Y'all get there and she screamed, action, and this girl just came out? The same way how Cynthia Bailey wanted us to believe that she did not whisper those negative things to Mike and that the producers put the words on the screen to make it look like she was talking about Nene and talking about, make sure you make it look like I didn't know Kenya was coming, all of those things. So if you know that sometimes the producers are shady and you've been doing this show for so long, why would you even go in your confessionals and say that and make it worse for Kenya as if she's the producer and she went ahead and dragged this girl? Anybody can come up to you in the street and say, hey, I heard this about somebody. This can even happen about Kenya's husband, about anybody on that show, because there are people who are just desperate to be on TV. And sometimes the producers will do anything it takes, whatever it takes, okay, for them to get those ratings. And it's working, because the most recent ratings, all because of the extra drama in this fight between Nene and Kenya that they've been advertising. Now they were able to see 2-something million views for the first time this season. You understand what I'm saying? So it's working. But for you to have been on the show for so long and to say that is disappointing. The other thing is, of course, I'm going to wait to watch the entire dinner to see if at any point Cynthia Bailey then came back and said, okay, I said what I said about Kenya, but it was being filmed, so let me not just pretend like Kenya is to blame for this. Then, you know what? I will come back and reevaluate what I said, but I'm still not here for that little comment that she made. So now this right here makes sense to why Tanya and Kenya had any type of conflict, because instead of Tanya receiving it as, you know what, the show is just being messy, some random chick pull up, you know, on Kenya and Cynthia, she took it personal that Kenya was coming for her relationship. Hopefully, after watching the show and seeing that it was actually filmed and that the both of them walked in the store and had nothing to do with it, you know, things would change. But I can see how that looks, and now Tanya getting upset and, oh girl, I thought we were cool, and then now this happened. No, I'm not going to be cool with you anymore. And then they started having conflicts, and that's me. I don't understand how something that was filmed, you really think and believe, Cynthia Bailey, that it took Kenya Moore saying something for production to pull that clip? You really think they recorded something so important and it was never ever going to make the show and it was just going to end up on someone's floor somewhere? No, mama, that's why they told you guys to go to that cookie shop. This girl been on this show for so long, but she hide behind that love and light situation. And now, oh God, they're going to come for me. So I'm going to go ahead and throw Kenya under the bus so she can get hit. This is where I'm so disappointed in Cynthia. Because you was a bad friend to Tanya, did not pull Tanya aside to tell her. And because you want to cover your butt. So instead of you saying in your confessionals that, look now, I know people are going to try to come for Kenya, but listen, Kenya and I had no clue who this woman was. Kenya and I just went over there for some cookies with Brooklyn, and this woman just came out of nowhere. Secondly, Kenya is not going to come to film a dramatic scene and someone gossiping with her precious, miracle, adorable, happy baby with her. She's not going to bring her around that type of energy. So let me just put that out there. That's what you want about Kenya Moore, but we had nothing to do with that. This woman just came up on us. That's what a real friend does. Kenya Moore almost got hit. Being there for you, Cynthia Bailey, having your back, showing you what a real friend does. You know what? Now I see why Cynthia and Kenny couldn't stop advocating for Kenya to come back, because they had nobody else to use as a scapegoat. They had nobody else to blame things on. They had nobody else to take the heat. Tanya, you saw Tanya. Tanya said if it's just hearsay and somebody's talking, she doesn't care. She doesn't want to know because it's just people talking. You already know it's coming. Oh my gosh, Kenya Moore is so miserable that her marriage is not working. Look at how happy Tanya is with her man. So here comes miserable Kenya trying to ruin that. The last time I checked, Candy and Todd look happy, right? They've been married for almost 5 years now, or 6 years, whatever the case might be. And who was sitting around with her employees talking about Portia? Man, wasn't it a woman who y'all think is happily married, Candy? Was she miserable in her marriage? Sat around with her employees and talked about Dennis cheating and all of that last season? A few of you called her messy. But then when it came out that Dennis cheated, it was, ooh, Candy was being right. So Candy can do that. But Kenya Moore is doing her job and she's miserable and all of that. Bravo, cut the check, because my girl back is on fire for literally carrying this show. Shout out to all of the other girls. My loves, thank you all for your love and support. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up. Also turn on notifications so when I do post, you're aware that I posted, and I will see you all in the comment section. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.